Well, hey, hello everyone. I'm coming to you from the sunny south in Orlando, and the challenge is that I'm lying because the last 2 days has been overcast with a lot of rain. So it hasn't been the sunny south that I really would like. But anyways, I was at a chiropractic convention this past weekend, and it was really good. I just spoke to an individual from the Florida area that had Daytona, Florida, that had a severe concussion mid last week, and she's a medical doctor and she fell and hit her head pretty bad. And she was having a very rough time when she came to the conference. And we shared with her the use of the helmet, and she was able to get 2 treatments in on the Saturday and 2 more treatments on the Sunday. And I'm really hopeful I can bring her in on a future webinar because she saw such an improvement in her situation. So it was pretty neat. Tonight, we got a special guest, Terry and Vera, and it's a recording of two husband and wife, but the husband has Parkinson's disease, and he started his treatments mid-December with our light technology. Now he had started with some earlier technology, and already had some improvements. But what's happened is that since their since his use of the light in mid December till now, very quickly he saw some improvements. So you're going to see that. And we are super excited about a couple other, actually now totaling four out of four Parkinson's patients, 4 good results, all from the beginning of around late November for 2 of them, and another 2 more that came in mid-December, and all of them have had significant improvement in their situation. And so we'll play one of the couples tonight. Also, I'll be sharing with you the video of Tyson. The reason I'm sharing Tyson is because he had a situation with a concussion, and a pretty severe concussion, and you'll be able to hear about that. And tonight we do have a special guest that's going to come on later on. I'm not going to reveal it yet. I hope everything works out okay, technically, but I think you'll find her research very interesting. She will be able to come on towards the end of our program. So her scheduling wouldn't allow her to come on sooner. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to start with our short video of just discussing a little bit about PBM. And I do mention in there about our ultimate device as being the most powerful device. Well, that was true at the time. We have now added a unit that is exactly the same power, very close to the same optical power, but it has the longer wavelength of 1050 nanometer. And so the one that is mentioned as the ultimate that has the 810 in this short video, but now we've gone with the 1050. So the 1050, being a little longer wavelength, has the potential to go just a little bit deeper. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. I'm sure you're going to enjoy tonight's interview. And here we go. PBM stands for Photobiomodulation. Photo being light, bio being biology, and light Well, light coming from some kind of source. In this case, PBM is used to help stimulate healing in the body, whether it's an LED, whether it's a laser, whether it's the sun, but that light comes through the skin layers, and actually the cells are able to absorb that light, converting it to energy, and then there's a host of different processes that are stimulated because of that light. So you can speed up healing, you can do different things that is very beneficial for the cells themselves, for healing, for reduction of inflammation, and a host of other things. Kerber USA is a company that we have set up to promote healing for the US and around the world. We would like to see this technology help a lot of people. We use LED technology where we can provide high amounts of light into the body, and that stimulates healing. I'd like to introduce you to the SunPowerLED Palm Ultimate. This device here has the most power of the series of devices. This light can produce a huge amount of light that can enter into the body and help speed up that healing. In this device, we have two different wavelengths. It's 660 nanometer, and as you can see, it's very bright, but it's very effective. You will cause a systemic effect with this wavelength of light. The other wavelength is 810. It's not very visible, but it penetrates very deep, and that can help as well reach the target that you're trying to reach. The main part about this light is that we have the power behind it and the large surface area that can reach very deep into the body. We believe that our product is the most powerful LED cluster under the sun. We have specification of this device of 150 milliwatts per square centimeter, and that is over this entire area of 40 square centimeters. It also provides a wall of light that comes through the skin and is able to reach depths that have never been able to be done before with other light products on the market. There's an interesting biblical passage in Malachi 4:2 that talks about the healing that comes from the rays of the sun. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide healing with these rays. PBM has also been shown in various studies to be able to help promote healing in wounds such as diabetic ulcers, venous ulcers, and other areas where cuts or burns or other types of wounds are on the skin level. If you have any questions about PBM and how our light device, the SunPowerLED Palm series, can help you, please reach out to us and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So this is to do with Parkinson's, okay? And it turns out that, it's Vera on the right and Terry on the left. Sorry, if my video is flipped for any reason, Terry's the guy that you see there. Anyways, he has Parkinson's, and one thing is that, like all those different things, he had already severe stiffness, he had the inability to smile, lack of energy. If he went for a little walk, he needed to sleep for quite a while. Loss of taste and smell, that was for a number of years, and the lack of engagement. Now, his voice is still a little soft, so you're going to have to crank up your volume. But you can see this now. One thing is the inability to smile meant that he would not be reacting to any jokes. And this is just from the middle of February, December, early December, that he started getting treatments around twice a week. Through the holidays, it was a little difficult to pull that off, but he did end up getting almost 2 treatments a week. And you can see this video was just taken last week, and I'm going to play it for you. So, and as far as smell, I think you can hear this one better. We had one trouble with audio before, but I think we're going to be able to play this. So let's give it a shot. Hopefully it works well. Here we go. Hi, Terry. Hi, Vera. How you doing?
Good. Great.
Okay, very good, very good. Thank you so much for joining us on this interview. And so tell me, how has Terry been doing as far as before you got to know us? What was happening? How long has he had Parkinson's?
Oh, you had Parkinson's probably 8 or 9 years.
Okay.
And we were introduced to red light therapy through Gateway physiotherapy, and Terry had some limited improvements with it over the last couple of years. A little, his arm swing when he walked improved a little increase in taste and smell, but limited.
Okay.
So when his physiotherapist suggested we try your helmet, which is much more powerful, we said, of course we would. So we've had tremendous results from it.
Yeah, that is neat. So when did you start with treatments for Terry?
That was mid-December, Terry.
Early December.
Yeah, about mid.
Uh-huh. And what was one of the first, so you put the helmet on, you did 1 minute of the red and then 3 minutes of the near infrared. That's our kind of standard protocol. And did he notice anything in the first or second treatment? What?
One of the things that I noticed immediately was sense of taste. And for somebody who's had no taste for 4 or 5 years, I was eating second helpings at the table. And I realized that it was the taste that was missing, but I also ran into an increase in smell.
Okay. So is your wife a good cook? Maybe I shouldn't ask that. There could be trouble.
Yeah.
Well,
she's a good cook.
He's put on about 5 pounds since he started the helmet because he's eating more now, which is good because with Parkinson's, because you can lose your sense of taste. A lot of people lose weight. So that was a big improvement. And what was the other?
The increase in smell.
Yeah.
Again, I couldn't smell anything. Our office is in the middle of a farmer's field out in Concession 5. And going by fields that were just
freshly manured,
you
could not.
I couldn't smell them.
No.
Wow.
With this increase in smell, the guy was walking in front of us one day, and I said, "I think I'm smoking a cigarette." And I could smell it, and this is normal, not good. I could not smell anything like that.
Yeah, that really surprised me when he could smell that.
Wow, and that's really neat. And one of the things that, if I remember correctly, you had trouble falling as well. Is that something to that effect?
You're not. No, you don't. You're okay with a couple falls, but not so much.
Okay, all right. I might be blending this with somebody else I know that had real difficulty with falling, but that's one of the things that can also happen.
Yes, it is. I think Peter had some trouble, and I know it helped him, but Terry has been, I think, with going to, he does a lot of exercise for Parkinson's, and I think that's really helped him.
So tell me a little bit about the exercise routines. How did you find that's I know the exercise is one very key thing to do for Parkinson's, but what in the case of Terry, how did this help Terry do you think, with exercises?
Well, we go to a Parkinson's physiotherapist who has a gym there, and it's wonderful, Gateway, and she does exercises and movements specifically for Parkinson's. And she was the one that helped it. She's very open to trying new things, and she was the one that mentioned about the light therapy. So
Okay.
I think we found our best hope for keeping the Parkinson's at bay as long as we can through exercise and through the red light therapy. It's a great combination.
Okay. And now exercise went better because of the light, or just?
Actually, yes, I remember one day Terry was doing in for a session of exercise, and Orla had mentioned that he seemed to be taking command or instruction better.
Okay.
So that was the positive.
So she'd say, raise your right arm, and he would, Terry would be able to respond better. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, yes. That's basically it. Yes.
Okay. And you've noticed a little difference too in expressions. You mentioned something the other day.
Yes, that was. Oh, I think that was after the second session. That now he has a spontaneous smile, which he hasn't had in years. His face was always the Parkinson's mask, and now he has much more expression. And my family have noticed a huge difference in him with the expression and with engaging in conversation.
Right.
Because he was getting to the point where he would be sitting when we had company and very quiet and sometimes falling asleep and disengaged. And he would tell me that it would be hard to jump into a conversation when people are talking. But now he is doing that. We had about 30 people over Christmas Eve, and all relatives, and he was talking all night. And it was just great to see, and people were commenting on how much more engaged and how he was like he was, 3 or 4 years ago. So it has really helped.
Well, I go ahead.
I was just going to mention, Terry, to you, I think wanted to talk about the stiffness that you get with Parkinson's.
Yeah, we're going out for walks every day. The stiffness of the back of the neck, the back of the lower back, and the knee joints, and basically anything that affects walking. I used to get these aches and pains quite a bit from all my joints. But now, virtually, I go out with no pain whatsoever, and halfway through I might get the odd pain or so, but next to nothing compared to what I used to get. And when you're walking and you have a sore back or a sore neck or sore behind the knees, it's tough to walk.
Right, but now that seems to be helping that as well, so that you don't have as much of that. Or
I
do you?
have very, very little.
Okay.
And usually it's only one spot instead of two if I get it. Basically, the energy.
No, you're going to talk about energy too? Your energy being increased?
Energy increased. And it all accompanied each other. The stiffness of the joints and the energy of constant walking for 2 miles. It had a major effect on that. I get very little pain now when I walk.
That's beautiful.
And when you would come in after a walk, before the helmet, what would you do?
Yeah, before the helmet, I'd flop on the bed and be gone for an hour or so. But now I don't need to come in and lay down or anything. Basically, I just finish the walk and go on with what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. So you've increased your energy through the use of the light helmet somehow.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, oh, that's beautiful. One thing I shared with you once before was this joke, and I think it's good. I'll share with it for our listening audience. I'll share this joke with you, and I think it's okay as a clean joke. But these two senior couples go out to eat, and the guys are like in the front seat, and the women are in the back, and the driver says, "Hey, Steve, what's the name of the restaurant we're going to?" Steve says, "I don't remember." He says, "Well, I got to know, what's the name of the restaurant? I don't remember either." He says, "I can't help you." And he says, "What's the name of that flower with the pokey things on it? And it's usually red." You mean like a rose?" "Yeah. Hey, Rose, what's the name of the restaurant we're going to?"
You can identify it sometimes, right?
So he needed that help with that Rose to remember what his wife's name was. So that's it's a clean joke and it's kind of funny, but yeah, that does happen sometimes. Anyways, I so much appreciate you guys coming on, and all the best in your journey. And I'm so glad that we could be a part of helping you guys with this.
Well, thank you so much. We so appreciate it. And one last thing that I didn't mention is that I find Terry walking a little more upright, because he does tend to stoop, and that was the major issue. It's why we started going to exercise in the first place. But I've noticed since the helmet that he is walking a little straighter.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well,
and that's just one other thing.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you joining us. And I'm sure this is going to be an encouragement to so many people out there that have gone through this.
Absolutely. It sure helped us.
All right. All the best. Bye for now. Okay. Bye. This is one that I wanted to play as well. This is a concussion, and in this case with the concussion, it's the one I explained. I just wanted to point this out because we're talking about brain challenges. Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Tyson.
Hello.
So, Tyson, what happened?
Well, I went to like a cadet group, so it's like kind of like you learn skills and stuff, and I fell and hit my head. I got a really bad concussion, so I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't read. If I stood up for too long, I'd get a really bad headache. And we were trying different things like oils and stuff like that. And then my mom's friend recommended this, the red light therapy.
Yeah.
And so we went over here and we tried it, and straight away I felt results after it was done. My headache cleared up like quite a bit. And that day I was able to pick up a book and read, when before I couldn't even read a sentence. I'd get a really bad
when
headache.
did this happen?
Happened I think last week Friday.
Okay, last
week. It was Thursday that
Thursday, last
so it was a
week,
week
Thursday.
ago.
Yep.
A week ago Thursday.
Yeah,
and
he had like severe memory loss. He still doesn't remember that day at all.
Right.
So I don't know if he'll gain that memory back. But we took him to Mac, and they did a CT scan and that, because he was continuously asking the same questions, like, what happened? Why does my head hurt? And like, it was on a reel, like probably every couple of minutes we tell him what happened. He's like, oh, that would be why my head hurts. I don't remember going to cadets.
Yeah.
And then he would ask it all over again, like, how come my head hurts? So like he probably did it hundreds of times. So they did a CT scan and they didn't see anything on the
That's at McMaster University.
Yeah, at McMaster.
Yeah.
And then he's got to follow up with a neurologist in a few weeks because it was that bad.
Right. Did you have any double vision?
No, not that I remember of that day.
But you couldn't read a book, and you couldn't watch a video? Or,
no, he had to be in a
I had to really lie down. If I stood up and tried to move around, I'd get a bad headache. I tried reading a book. I got, I think, a sentence, and then I got a split and a headache again. So
okay,
because he really likes reading, so he was hoping to, because he was bored. He gets bored because he's lying around in a dark room listening to audiobooks. But yeah, the minute he started reading it, just
Okay. And so you did a light treatment under the helmet,
Yeah.
and that was 1 minute of the bright red and 3 minutes.
Of like the one you can't see.
Right, that's the near infrared.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was amazing. Like after the 4 minutes, I could tell straight away my headache was gone. I just overall felt better.
Yeah, so you were still tired and stuff. You
Yeah.
didn't read yesterday yet, did you?
No, I didn't read yesterday.
Oh, you didn't read on the day you got the red light
Yeah.
therapy. Yesterday you started reading.
Yeah, I tried it and I'm like, hey, I can easily read. I don't get a headache at all.
Well, we could tell a difference because he was really subdued. Like he's been really, like just hanging out in his room, really quiet and not.
Right.
And now he's like, whoop! So I'm like,
Oh, that is excellent.
He's definitely back in that sense.
And we're going to do just one more final treatment here,
We'll do another
probably.
one, yeah, because
And just to make sure that things are covered. But
yeah.
well, thank you very much for being on our video,
Yeah.
Tyson, and really neat how we were able to see this. This is going to tell a lot of people what light therapy can do.
Oh, he's very grateful. Yeah, we were very, very blessed and pleased that we found this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all the best. Bye for now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So I hope you found that interesting. And we do have our special guest on tonight, I believe. And Anita, are you there? Maybe if she is, she's going to come on. Okay, I can answer a few of these questions while we're waiting for Anita to get back. Okay, let's see. Okay, Brian, well, let's see. Just give me a moment here. All right, we've got our special guest, Anita Saltmarche. I am so glad you were able to make it. I know you had a conflict in timing.
Yes, sorry about that.
I don't know. Did you have to go 100 miles an hour down one of the roads?
No, but I am back. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I'm going to let Anita just share a little bit about what she's doing. I'm going to bow out for a minute until she asks me to come back in. But Anita, if you can share what's happened in what you're doing.
So
Yeah,
for individuals who don't know, I've been involved in photobiomodulation for about 24 years now. And neuro over the last 20 years has been my focus and my passion. And so I would say over the last 2.5 years, I've been involved with Parkinson's. And previously, we started with traumatic brain injury. And then that led to aphasia, so loss of language associated with stroke, and had very good results with that. And then moved on to doing a study on dementia and Alzheimer's, and saw good results with that. And then more recently, treating children with autism and Down syndrome. And so Down syndrome, we're not going to change genetics, but we can help with language acquisition and behavior and sleep, as well with autism. And so started treating kids. The last couple years, I've been involved in Parkinson's and working with some pretty amazing researchers, Drs. Anne Liebert and Brian Bicknell out of Australia. And I'll tell you about their research in a second. As well as Dr. Margaret Nazer out of Boston, and we've worked together for about 20 years now, and an amazing neuro physio out of Hamilton, Orla Ayres, and she has a Parkinson's Wellness Innovation Center in Hamilton. And we've just completed a research study looking at Parkinson's and the use of light energy to treat both motor and non-motor symptoms. And we're just in the process of analysis, so I can't really share those results because I don't have them, at least not thoroughly, so can't share them until we publish. But it's looking quite positive. And so if we look at the research out of Australia, they have looked at the use of photobiomodulation and treating not only the head, but also the gut for the microbiome. And I don't think we can ever underestimate how important that is in neurodegenerative conditions, treating the microbiome. So there are multiple ways of treating for Parkinson's, and that would make sense when you think about the number of symptoms. So it's a very heterogeneous sort of collection of symptoms for Parkinson's. And we know that many of those symptoms start as early, especially GI symptoms, constipation, GI issues, up to 10 years before you're ever diagnosed even. And so it would make sense that treatment should address specific areas like for motor, the brain, and maybe even, the autonomic nervous system. So we would treat the gut for that, or possibly the vagus nerve, and we're treating that at the same time with the gut. We may treat intranasally. I mean, there are different forms of energy delivery. And I believe all of them are probably important with Parkinson's. And so the SunPower helmet is a way of delivering both visible red and infrared energy to the brain. And, if we look at the research out of Australia, 5 years following being involved in a research study, and they go back 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years follow up. And some of those individuals, very small numbers, so we can't extrapolate from that right now, but it's promising that at 5 years, some of those individuals were still improving from the third year assessment to the fifth. And when you think about a neurodegenerative condition, even if you can maintain where you are for 5 years, let alone continue to improve, I think that's pretty phenomenal. So I think the potential of photobiomodulation or light energy on the body to treat Parkinson's and many other neuro and neurodegenerative conditions is, we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. I think there's much more to be learned and many other conditions that we can have an impact on. So that's a little bit of my experience and background over the last 4 or 5 years. But yes, I don't know if there are any questions, Tom, or what you would like to do.
We'll see. We'll field some questions here. I'm
Sure.
just answering. One question was one of the doctors I'm working with, naturopath slash DDS, Dr. John Lawrence, was one who is using our technology. And methylene blue is another thing. You have any knowledge on methylene blue? I just wondered. I didn't prepare you with a question.
Oh, yeah,
on
no,
that,
no, that's fine. I think methylene blue can be an adjunct, an adjunct to the light therapy, yes. It probably has some very positive benefits all on its own. I think the one thing I would suggest, just like light therapy, is I think you're going to get the best results if you're actually working with someone who can help you determine what your protocol should be, monitoring that. And I would absolutely say that, although you can get methylene blue online out of the US without a script, I don't know that that's wise without some supervision with a physician.
Right.
But yes, I think as an adjunct, methylene blue probably does. It's a photosensitizer, so it would make sense that that could be helpful.
Yeah, as it turns out, methylene blue is something that reacts. Now, some people, or probably many people, don't realize, but it actually reacts with red light, and specifically 660 nanometer red light. So it's very, very beneficial when it comes to using our light with methylene blue. So there's a website that I'm going to suggest people to look up. I put it in the chat, is www.methyleneblue.red. And if people want to check that out, I'm going to go back to the questions here now and see if I can find some that I usually have help in this side, but I'm doing it on my own here from this side, but we also got Faith and Sam on the back end helping helping us. So very sorry tonight about the glitches we had technically. That sometimes happens, even we try.
Oh, okay.
But we had some technical glitches in the beginning part, but this is
Oh,
great.
okay.
Okay, let's see here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Yes, but okay. Brian was asking, Tom, would an inversion table assist in getting more blood flow to the brain while wearing the helmet device? Now, that would be a real upside down condition. And to accelerate neurological repairs of red light applications by delivering more oxygen to the target area. That's interesting, but I don't know without a study. I can't say, but I can say for lower back pain, that combination of red light and inversion table really, really helps with stretching the back. I've used that and it's really helped me. So, but I've never thought of using it actually for the brain. Now, one thing that people Willis circle, what is it
Circle
called?
of Willis. Yeah.
Thank you. I got there. It was
Yeah.
somewhere up there in the brain. The Circle of Willis is very interesting. It's a beautiful, beautiful design that actually regulates the blood pressure to your brain. Otherwise, you would have severe trouble when you went from standing up to inverting, and
Yeah.
and so
And I
that,
don't, yeah,
yeah.
Tom, I don't know about the inversion table, but I think there's a fair amount of work that would suggest that if you can exercise, and that could be cognitive exercise or physical exercise. So riding a stationary bike, whatever, either just before or
Oh,
during treatment, that
yeah.
that is absolutely something that would be beneficial. And if you have cognitive issues, whether it's brain affect, it's not FX, it's well, maybe it is. It's brain training, and at the same time as you're doing the transcranial or other forms of light therapy, it appears that if we're talking about neuroplasticity, that those two things together are probably very positive. Inversion
Right.
table, I don't know.
Somebody out there want to do it for us?
I think you're going to have a hard time having that helmet on and being
Uh,
on an
well,
inversion
that's where
table
the
or any
strap,
helmet.
the new design of a strap going under the chin
Yeah,
will be necessary, or it'll fall off.
exactly.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just um, okay. So somebody is
Oh,
mentioning
wow,
here,
that's interesting.
Lauren is mentioning, I can't imagine not being able to taste for 5 years. I'm so happy for him. Yeah, he was absolutely thrilled. And
Taste
for
and smell, it's huge.
Yeah, and then the other thing would be is the ability to once again smile. That
Yes,
is, like his wife was thrilled. She said, I
yes.
remember one day when she came in, she said, the first time in years he smiled at me. I mean, that's
Yeah.
got to be pretty hard to have that, as she described
Yeah,
it.
that masking with Parkinson's is very, very difficult.
Mm.
And yeah, so and voice projection. I mean, there's so many positive benefits to the use of light therapy for Parkinson's.
So Christian is mentioning here, just there with the Parkinson segment, having gain is great because illness is so destructive, and having gain for him must be a victory in some kind.
Mm.
Concussion segment, great gain with your PBM helmet. Thank you, Christian, for your comments there. Is the question from Susan, is there wait time when ordering a helmet with 1050? Not much. We are trying to finally have stock, and we're almost there. It's just that we had such just in this last while, some might know that I've had over 23,000 views on 3 different interviews that have gone out. And that has really caused us a little bit of strain, but we were able to get all the product out to most people
Good.
within 3 weeks. So, Susan, no, we should be pretty much able to, shortly after we get the order, to be able to ship. You just have to check with us because we never know if there's another, who knows, another interview. There's been a few others, and I don't know when they're going to be published. And when they do, our phone rings off
Yeah,
the
that
hook.
influx is huge, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's see. I made the comment. I do know Dr. John Lawrence quite well, and he's using our helmet as well. So fantastic there. I forgot the guy's name, Chase. I think it was, yeah. Chase Hughes used our light down there in Florida, Sarasota, Florida. Okay, here we go from, I can't read it. Just hang on one second. Tamara, there we go. Tamara's asking, to treat gut in Parkinson's, can the palm light be used over the quadrant? Although I'm not familiar with it, but light devices have been used, and Anita,
Absolutely.
maybe.
So, I mean, there's been research out of Australia where they've treated directly over the abdomen. There are different manufacturers out there, and one of them is out of Australia, Symbix, and yes, they definitely have a gut laser, but the palm could be used, and I'd use a combination of the visible red and infrared.
Yes.
As well with that. But yes, that could definitely be done. And because the helmet comes low enough behind the neck, you're also treating other areas that are important to get blood flow into the brain.
I got a comment here from Brian Murphy. Thank you, Brian. Okay, so
this one on the blue light therapy, I didn't get to read the whole thing. Can you read that, Tom?
Yeah, so methylene blue. Oh, sorry, it's not so much. Maybe I'm not there yet. But
okay.
There's the compound methylene blue is what I'm seeing from Brian. That's the next question here. So methylene blue is in every hospital in the U.S. to save lives in the ER from poisoning. So yes, that is correct, Brian. Turns out that for cyanide poisoning and for carbon monoxide poisoning, methylene blue on its own, mind you, they don't have my red light, but on its own, it is tremendously helpful in restoring what they call the electron chain transport, which is the moving of oxygen in the cell. I don't have a high enough pay grade to tell you exactly what that means, but I know that that's something that methylene blue has been used for. It's extremely safe. And apparently there is a situation where if you're on SSRIs, you've got to be a little more careful. But other than that, yeah, so there, if you were to go to www.methyleneblue.red, that's www.methyleneblue.red. Don't try and search for it. It's too new of a website. And it's got some great information over there. They got some videos in that. Okay, here's another one from Doug. The best place to place the palm unit to reach the bronchial tubes in the lungs. My understanding is up in these areas here is where I've had somebody tell me that they were using it for their situation. I'm sorry, I'm not a medical doctor. I can't prescribe. And I don't know the human body well enough.
And I would agree with that, Tom, but I've had individuals who've got fibrosis within the lungs, and they've definitely been treating up here and even slightly lower.
Okay,
on the back as well.
Yes.
I would do the front and the back.
When I had my COVID, and my lung oxygen was 80%, I was treating front and back with the mini canopy. That's the 1 foot square light device that we have. So yeah. Okay. Uh, okay, okay, the best place. Okay. Russ is mentioning design the helmet with with a US football team. Hey, if they want to step up and
They can use
Anita,
it as is, but yes, I can see what
oh, that's
wearing it
probably
while they're on the field. I
yeah,
don't know that that's
I think where that comment comes, that's a little fun there. It's probably because they have to keep the helmet on even if they end up upside down. So if I design that,
okay.
that's somebody's got some comedy here.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yes, he says. That's right. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Russ.
All right. We could always put, if there's a football team out there that's listening to, or one of the players that's listening, we will gladly brand a helmet for your team. Okay. No problem. Just buy a few helmets. We'll do it. Okay. Tamara is asking, whoa, I don't understand these terms. Can you help me on that? There's Tamaris.
I can't see the questions, Tom. So,
oh, all right. Okay.
or if I can, well, wait a minute. Let me go into chat.
There they are. Did you see the chat? Scroll down to pretty much the bottom. Oh, wow. There's a lot of new messages here. I got to keep going. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I can't. Tamara, I can't answer your question because I don't know enough about that. So if you email
I'm
that
trying to
to
look for it.
info, if you look at info or email info@sunpowerled.com, info@sunpowerled.com, please forward your email. Mary comments, this is good information. Thank you. Deanna is saying, thank you so much for these interactive sessions. Thank you for your comments, folks. It's always nice to see that we can not only get this information out there, but we hear back from many of you of the successes that you're having. So thank you for reaching out to us. And yeah, I would love everybody to share, like send your results, something that's happened for you where you use the palm light or the helmet or the mini canopy. Please share with us. Otherwise, we don't know, and it expands our knowledge to be able to get back from you. Also, Anita, you mentioned, or sorry, you didn't mention, but remember Wendy Bessler from Detroit. She mentioned about
Yes.
the person with dyskinesia that was fully, constantly moving, could not stop, could not go
Right.
to work, could not do anything. From long-term, what's it? Sorry, cognitive, certain type of challenge, cognitive challenge. Oh, I can't remember, but she was on drugs for a long time, and
Sometimes the drugs will create that. So
yeah,
a side effect.
yeah. So she
Drugs,
tried everything for a year and a half to help this patient, and the patient ended up getting light treatment, and after a few light treatments, her condition settled right down to where she was able to go back to work. So that was neat. I know we're very late. We appreciate you guys hanging in there for whoever wants to. Okay. Victoria.
Somebody's just saying here, they're asking about using the palm instead of a helmet for their mom with Alzheimer's. And
yeah,
I would absolutely say that, with a protocol, and I'd start with the default mode network, you could absolutely try that without a helmet to start. I know that's not selling your helmet. Tom,
no, it doesn't matter.
Some people, I think starting that way would definitely be worthwhile.
Right. And I do, you can, anybody out there wants to reach out to Anita, the easiest thing would be, Anita, do you want to give your email?
Sure. It's so it's Saltmarche, S as in Sam, ALTMARCHE Health, HEALTH.com.
Okay.
And you can absolutely, do you want me to type that into the chat thing?
Yes, please. So Saltmarche Health.
SaltmarcheHealth.com. Yeah.
And so would a person send it to info@sunpower?
Or Anita. Yeah.
Or Anita at
Saltmarchehealth.com.
Okay, so please forward your questions to Anita that with regards to the brain issues, but definitely you can use the palm on the brain in different areas. If you want to
Yes.
duplicate the helmet, it's 10 locations, spending 4 minutes on each location, 1 minute of the red, 3 minutes of the near infrared. If you don't have that time, you could cut that time in half, but you still got a much longer treatment time of 20 minutes to 40 minutes unless you know specifically the area that you want to treat.
Yeah, and I think there are probably 5 to 6 well, 4 to 5 areas that you could start with.
Yes.
Rather than all 10, and
Yeah.
that's why to have a protocol for that would decrease the amount of time that you would actually have to treat.
Exactly. And you don't have to get a helmet then. You could get one of the devices. My suggestion would be probably the Palm Ultimate or the Super Palm. And if by chance funding is really, really tight, the professional will still do the job. It's just going to take longer. That's all to do the same. You want to add another 25% or more time to each location. Okay.
Yeah. And somebody had some comment about where you were showing them that it seemed more like the thymus. And in fact, you can treat. So if you've got your collarbone or your clavicle, and just below that, above the sternum, treating there, we've treated for long COVID along with other locations and had very positive effects with that. So yes, that can be quite helpful. And yes, it does stimulate the immune system, as does treating the gut. So that also enhances the immune system, increases serotonin and dopamine production. So multiple benefits from that.
Okay. So somebody just I'll just say mentions about having bladder infections.
Yeah.
And just the light alone is very beneficial. She's treated 3 or 4 times a day with a Super Palm, and she needed no meds to get through this. So I mean, everybody is different, but UTIs can be helped by light PBM, as well as methylene blue has been used for UTIs as well. So again, once again, a combination would probably be something that would even be more helpful. And that's where things like in the health realm, don't just try necessarily one thing only. You might want to combine a couple of things. Combination treatments are really good. Like Anita, it was mentioned earlier how Parkinson's exercise is along with light therapy is you need to do the combination.
Absolutely. That's a mandatory requirement. And Parkinson's exercises make a big difference.
Yep. So Lydia, that's a neat name. That was my mom's name. She lived till she was 92, and she used my light extensively, and that was funny. My brother lived across in another house across the driveway, and he said it was common for him to wake up in the middle of the night to use the washroom, and he'd sometimes look over at the other in the yard just to see if anything was up, and he said sometimes he'd see the house bright red from a so right. my mom was treating in the middle of the night with the mini canopy for different problems, but it really helped her many times over. Anyways, Lydia's asking.
So did Lydia have a question?
Yeah, she owns the Palm Professional. Based on what I just heard in the chat session, I can use it on my head and replicate some of the benefits of the helmet. Absolutely. Yes. My mom has Alzheimer's disease, and I've been considering buying a helmet, but perhaps I can try the Palm first. Yes, you can try the Palm first, no doubt about it. If in some case you need to, just to save time, we'd love to have your have a helmet sale, but no, you can also do this with a Palm device. Okay, Maurice is okay. Coupon code. Let's get back to me, Maurice, on that, please. you know what?
Red light. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I tell you what, for those that are watching tonight, because you stuck right through to this late time, um, hey, if you want to get one of our devices tonight, we will put it through on your credit card, and we will give you a 10% rebate immediate, like in the next day, probably tomorrow. So if you'd like to purchase in the next 24 hours, we'll give you a 10% discount. Okay. So just as a thank you for sticking around and being a participant and tonight. And I'm so glad Anita was able to join us. This has been fantastic, and definitely she can do online
My
counseling.
practice is predominantly online. So,
Yeah, so
yes.
please connect with Anita, and
Just a quick question, Tom, here is the Parkinson's treatment twice a week? Generally speaking, we'd say 3 times a week, a day in between treatment. So Monday,
yeah,
Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, something
yeah,
like that to
but
start with, for sure.
yeah, to start with, and then if you have a home unit, there's no reason why I find, anyways, with the results that we've been getting with some people on other things, is it could be a daily treatment as well at home. It doesn't, but for definitely for clinics, we've seen good results with even 2 times a week, probably preferred 3. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's just somebody here asking about, do I use PBM or photobiomodulation with all my Parkinson's patients? Absolutely. Combination of that, looking at diet, exercise is paramount. It's really a combination, and medication,
Okay.
obviously, the neurologist.
Okay. We got we okay, yeah. So Tara, boy, this going. Can you hang in there a little longer, Anita?
For a couple more minutes.
Okay. Tamara is saying we are using methylene blue under our MD's guidance. Fantastic, along with
Yeah.
red light. We read Dr. John Lawrence's book Magic Bullet, and want to affect. I see. I'm not sure. Okay, but anyways, Maurice says thanks. We will be putting Karen, we will be putting this on our YouTube within the next few days, probably. So check back, and please remember to subscribe, because when subscribe happens, you will know immediately when we have an updated video that's from tonight or any of our videos. Chuck is mentioning the area you showed looked more like the thymus, and shining a light on the thymus
Yeah.
may stimulate the immune system. Thank you, Chuck, for your observation.
They're asking about either the helmet and or the light panels, and do you need specialized glasses, or can you just close your eyes? I think a number of individuals close their eyes rather than protective, but I would absolutely not leave your eyes open for that
Yes.
treatment. It's
Yeah.
very bright.
Yeah,
But,
I agree with that
yeah.
100%. And if you have, we've done this with autism, is if you have a child that has autism, they may get fearful with the bright red light. So you might want to, usually we do the bright red first and then the near infrared. But if it means that they're not like as what's the word, apprehensive of the bright light, you could even just do the near infrared with the benefits. But I still like the red light whenever you can slip it in.
I would agree. And Tom, I think that's where, using a handheld can be almost superior to, because, well, it depends if you're treating a child versus an adult, but I think the idea that you start off with the infrared and introduce that light, a lot of them do have sensitivity to light. And then the fact that you can hold a device directly on the head rather than having, the helmet over the entire head at first. And
Right.
he
Yeah, because
introduces that.
you're still getting light coming out of the helmet pretty significantly, even though you're not right on top of the head.
Oh, yeah, but
Obviously,
it's also all around them. And
yes.
sometimes I think some of them don't even like having things around their head.
As a
So,
matter of fact, we just treated an autistic boy, 6 years old, at this chiropractic event, and one of the mothers brought her boy in, and the first time we lifted the boy up on the chair, and he was okay with that, but when we started trying to bring the helmet down, even though it wasn't lit, he apparently doesn't even like a baseball cap or any type of cap on his head. He doesn't like it. And so he was very squirmy and everything about, his mother was trying to calm him and everything like that. And so we did eventually, we brought the helmet down a little bit more, and we got a little bit, and he did the first treatment. And I took him off the chair and put him off to the side. We had to put my briefcase on top of the chair for a little extra height. It was kind of funny. So he sat on top of that. And I took him down and put him on the side, and I lifted up the helmet. And would you believe he jumped back on top of the chair? It was like he wanted more. Like you could just see him
interesting.
motioning. And when we did it the second day, it was like I put him up on this time there was no squirming. He even kind of apparently to his mother, he said when he saw somehow he could figure out where he was. He saw and he actually was excited. She says as soon as she came into the room and came
They
up to
know
us.
when they benefit. It's like treating animals. They'll
And
come to your side.
and we pulled down the helmet. It was no problem the second time around. It was like skittish there.
Tom, I'm gonna have to go. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Go ahead, Anita. I want to thank you so much for joining us and being a part
Thank
of this
you.
conversation. And please reach out to Anita. If you've got some questions and you'd like to get some counseling for sure. So it's Anita at saltmarchehealth.com, and we got that in the chat session.
I think
So
it's in the
Anita,
chat.
thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining
Take
us.
care.
Okay,
Bye.
bye for now. Okay, I'm going to answer a few more questions. Wow, we got 50 new messages coming down here, but we're not going to be able to answer all those questions. So PBM helmet, I understood about 1 inch to 1.5 inch and a half between the helmet and the head. Yeah, you can have it almost touching the top of the head. It's fine. There's also, if you close your eyes, that is the best way to do it. Because it'll scatter the light even further. If you're talking with the helmet, it doesn't really shine directly in the eyes, so that's not a problem. The power level is quite much lower there. We do have people improving their vision by using the palm light over their eye for certain conditions. Just seems like to help with eye health, like wet macular degeneration and dry macular degeneration. But that is a specific protocol of 1 minute of red and 1 minute of the near infrared over the eye, but with the eyelid closed. Okay. Let's see if I can go down here. Diane is saying thank you very much about using the palm at this point. The helmet is cost prohibitive. I understand that. The helmet is really designed more for the clinic application, but then again, if you're financially okay, and I mean this has a great impact on life, so it does cost money in some of these things to try and help with health, and I definitely understand. Thank you, Lucia, for your prayers. and we appreciate prayers for sure. Laura is commenting on combining red light with osteopathic treatments. Fantastic. Anne Marie is thanking us. So thank you for watching tonight. I'm going through the quick questions for the for Parkinson's. Is it 2 times a week for them ongoing? It probably will be or more. If you got a home unit, then I definitely would lean to moving it up to every day. Laura's asking, does it help with kidney stones? I do know that it does help with the inflammation, and it's possible that it could help, but I can't, there's no guarantees here. Okay. Thank you so much from Lauren. Very good. Another thank you. So generally, Chuck is asking, generally we treat the entire head with our helmet, but it is possible to look at specific treatment areas. I think somebody like Anita could help you to narrow the area of treatment to a few areas to see if that works. When we treat the whole brain, it's like blanketing the whole brain. So we don't have to worry so much about where we have to treat. We're just getting the light to the whole area. And so it reduces the guesswork a bit for that. Laura, great information. Thanks, Anita. We'll have to tell you. Demara, yes, I will. The 10% discount will be for the mini canopy as well. Okay, thank you. Oh, sorry, that's Eric that's asking that. And they're the Super Palm, the helmet, and the Super Palm, the helmet, and the mini canopy all come with 2-year warranties. And we look after our people well after after the warranty, because if you are a happy customer, you'll tell 10 more. Does it help with gout? Yes, Russ, it does. If you go to our website and go on the research page, go down to I think it's the very upper articles, Let There Be Light. Dr. Malone commented how much it helped him with his situation with gout. There's a Karen is saying thank you. Thank you. Russ is saying praise the Lord. I agree. And I think we've caught up. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. That is fantastic. I hope you guys all have a really blessed week. And please share with us those when you use the light and you're getting results. That is fantastic because then we can tell others, like this whole area of wet macular degeneration, dry macular degeneration. That is amazing when we can see some people having positive effects in those areas. So may you be rich, may God richly bless you this week. Thank you, everyone, and bye for now.